you, Adrian, and good evening to you for a night that could extend one of the most extraordinary records in sport. Real Madrid's preeminence in the European Cup's best summed up by the fact that you can pick a pair of any other clubs across the continent, and Los Blancos have won the competition more than they have combined. A supremacy that began in the earliest years of the competition, inspired by Di Stefano in the 1950s, and which was revitalised, firstly around the turn of the century, and then more latterly over the last decade of dominance, which can culminate tonight in them winning the Champions League for the 6th time in a 10-year period. 10 years ago this week they clinched La Decima, an extraordinary, much heralded achievement. That they can win a 15th European crown tonight almost defies superlatives. Another season, another shot at glory, not that familiarity breeds contempt. Against them, and Dortmund side have defied the odds themselves. The 5th place finish in the Bundesliga belie their continental achievements. Progress from arguably the trickiest group, overturning a first leg deficit to see off Atletico Madrid, then beating PSG to 0, both home and away in the semi. Had to wait a while to make it back to Europe's top table. This their first final since they conceded a heartbreaking 89th minute goal to Bayern here at Wembley in 2013. They start as big underdogs, but they will be mindful that this season's Europa League and Conference League finals have both seen the favourites blow up and lose, and they'll draw on their finest hour for inspiration in 1997 when they beat much fancied Juventus with Paul Lambert marking Zinedine Zidane out of the game. And they mastermind an even bigger upset tonight with Zidane in the house once more. Well, these are the teams for the 69th European Cup final. Kobel in goal for Dortmund, Riasson, Schlotterbeck, Hummels and Martsen, Chan and Sabitzer, Sancho, Brandt and Adeyemi, and Fulcrum up front. Real have Courtois in goal, Carvajal, Rudiger, Nacho and Mendy, Valverde, Camavinga, Kroos on his farewell, and Bellingham, and Rodrigo and Vinicius as wide split strikers. The referee tonight, Slavko Vincic from Slovenia. Dortmund in their customary yellow shirts, black shorts and yellow socks with black hoops. Real Madrid in their immaculate all white. Whoever's won the toss has turned the two sides around, because Dortmund will be kicking towards the end of the ground that houses their supporters in the first 45 minutes. And having almost got into a position to line up, they now break, run back into this half of the field where we're sat, and applaud the Dortmund supporters who have been magnificent. We're back in town to steal the crown. A big banner around the big screen at their end of the ground, and now the giant flag that is covering most of the Dortmund supporters in the lower tier makes way as very hastily furled back down to the front. Well, these are the nights we never forget. Borussia Dortmund's shot at glory against the most successful side the continent has ever seen. Real Madrid's last 8 Champions League finals have all ended in success. Is this going to be another glorious page in their illustrious history, or Dortmund's most remarkable chapter yet? The 2024 final is underway, and we've got it for you here on Talk Sport. And already we've got a pitch invader who's made his way onto the field inside the centre circle to take a selfie with Jude Bellingham, and now comes across and wants a selfie with Vinicius, and still isn't a steward on the pitch to apprehend him. He's now made his way from the pitch back down towards this near side. Now another fan runs on from the corner of the ground, and with about a minute on the clock, we've only seen about 15 seconds worth of action, and the stewards, to say they're being tardy in dealing with this is a massive understatement, Stuart. Can only get better.
Well, it's a little bit of an embarrassment, really. There was talk about big money paid for extra security, and we've seen it outside. Now a third spectator has run on the pitch. I don't know why. We want a game of football tonight, please.
Well, there's a steward trying to usher him away, but he will make his way over towards the far side. As soon as one comes on, I guess that you're getting copycats from other sides of the ground, but all a little bit unseemly. Hopefully we're in danger of a football match breaking out at some stage. As we've now got best part of 2 minutes on the clock, and the last pitch invader still hasn't been apprehended. He made his way down towards the corner flag. Now somebody has taken him out almost head high, and Sabitzer, who wasn't standing for any of it, has raced over to the fan, who was almost lying on the ground. Sabitzer's got to be careful, because he makes serious contact with the fan there. He can get himself into trouble. That is the point that Adeyemi is just making to him now. Well, a couple of minutes in, and 2 minutes of lunacy really from the supporters. So dangerous. Supporters running on with phones, but you just wonder what else they might have been able to run on with. Hopefully, that'll be that. The end of the idiocy, and we will actually be able to get the match pretty much underway. There's a throw which will be taken on the Real Madrid right-hand side by Carvajal, flicked on towards halfway. Handed forward high up in the air, brought down by Sabitzer, and then a crunching challenge comes in on Bellingham. And a free kick goes Real's way. They've taken it very quickly, working back for Toni Kroos. Kroos, who didn't play in the final here for Bayern against Dortmund back in 2013. He was out through injury that day, has got a winner's medal, but didn't feature in that final. He's won 4 Champions League titles with Real Madrid since then, and Vinicius is clearly pumped up, makes a good run down the left-hand touchline. All goes out of play for a throw, but then he's orchestrating some noise from the Real Madrid supporters away to our left-hand side by raising his fists at them. Borussia taking a throw for Dortmund on this near touchline, which is the Dortmund left. They're kicking from left to right in this first half. The ball's out of play for another throw that the Norwegian international fullback will take. 3.5 minutes gone here on TalkSport. Already a couple of minutes to be added. It's 0-0 in the 2024 final.
Yeah, Vinicius Junior done exactly what you would expect of him. Picked the ball up for the first time in the game and went directly at the fullback, skipping past him and putting Hummels under a bit of pressure as well to boot. So exactly what you didn't want as a fullback, but from your wide player, exactly what you wanted.
Rudiger turns it back for Thibaut Courtois. There won't be many goalkeepers in Champions League history that have come into the final to start it and haven't conceded a goal all season. That's the situation that Courtois finds himself in. Down to the fact that he's missed 11 months through injury, only returned on May the 4th. Vinicius has it now. Wales top scorer this season with 23, which ties the personal best of the campaign. Out towards the right-hand side. Long diagonal from him. Rodrigo chasing after it. Martin trying to prevent the ball going out of play for a corner. Has done really well to hook his right foot underneath the ball. Sabitzer will help it on. Brandt trying to feed Adeyemi. Ball goes out of play for a throw. Danny Carvajal wants to take quickly over on the Real Madrid right-hand side, but it has in fact gone the other way. It's a Dortmund throw. 5 gone on TalkSport, 0-0.
Even at these early stages, you know, with that run from Vinicius Junior, and then certainly on the just after that, Real Madrid playing through the midfield too easily for me. Dortmund have got to make this game a tougher game for Madrid.
And now they will be able to break quickly here. Sabitzer crossing the ball inside the penalty area. Rudiger's there to head it away. Sorry, Stuart.
Yeah, as I say, they've got to make it more of a scrappy game potentially when Real have got the ball.
Riasson, long-haired Norwegian, wins the first quarter of the night to Dortmund. I think we've already seen how the pattern of play might develop over the 90 minutes. Real with the majority of possession, about 2/3 of it so far. But Dortmund, to an extent, only to an extent of course, will be happy to cede possession, knowing how good they can be with pace on the counter-attack. Julian Brandt's come across to take this corner. Sancho stands inside in sight of the penalty area, about 5-6 yards from the edge of the box. Brandt with a real outswing, it's headed on and then cleared high up in the air by Toni Kroos. Headed back in then by Fulkrug, but straight through for Thibaut Courtois. A vicious outswinging delivery there from Brandt, but the Dortmund players can quite get the right touch, and Real are going to be able to play out from the back with Toni Kroos in possession now. The German international sends it to his compatriot Toni Rudiger, whose career has actually got a losing record against Dortmund. He's won 2 and lost 3 of his 7 previous games against them. Vinicius losing out. Pearson doing well. And then it's turned down the right-hand touchline where Borussia Dortmund are able to win a throw. That clearly feels as though it's going to be one of the key battles today. Vinicius up against Riasson, and it's probably 1-1 so far.
Yeah, as I say, there's no doubt that will be absolutely critical. As I say, Vinicius Junior just playing on the width there in the semi-finals, just dropped inside and played slightly more inside on occasion, but he'll go where he thinks he will get joy.
With a clearance that was charged down by Rodrigo, almost spooned down towards Bellingham, and he got the last touch. It goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Borussia Dortmund right-hand side. Coming to this on the back of 4 wins in their last 5 games of the regular season, 3 wins in a row in the Champions League, having beaten Atletico 4-2 at home and then won 1-0 home and away against PSG. Real, for their part, unbeaten in 25. They're actually in the longest unbeaten record in the league in their history, 32 games. Fulcrum trying to work the ball forward. Camavinga's there to nod it back to the goalkeeper. We've already seen one European final where a mighty long unbeaten streak came to an end when Leverkusen were well beaten by Atalanta. Live on Talk Sport. Borussia Dortmund have certainly got some pretty sizable odds to try and overcome tonight. We're 8 minutes in. Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 0 in the finals. Stuart Pearce alongside him here at Wembley. Mendy in possession for Real inside his own half. Under a little bit of pressure from Sancho. He's turned the ball back for Courtois. And now Rudiger's going to be able to bring it forward. Excellent range of passing from the former Chelsea centre-half, former Champions League winner. Flighted forward off the top of Bellingham's head, but away from Rodrigo and through for Kobel, who were bowled it out for Ian Matson. Started the season on loan. On the bench for Chelsea on numerous occasions before his loan move, which has been a massive success. Part of the Burnley side that won promotion from the Championship last season and finds himself in a Champions League final just 12 months on. Dortmund heading the ball through the midfield, just a little bit too high for Adeyemi. Helped on down the right-hand side by Valverde. Cleared by Schlotterbeck, the taller of the 2 centre-halves for Dortmund. Rudiger heads away at the other end of the field. Kroos, calming influence, just puts his foot on the ball, finds Rudiger, and Carvajal will flight it forward. Bellingham flicking it on. It's a touch which turns the Dortmund back line. Schlotterbeck's there first. Riasson can help it on. Emre Can in danger of losing out in the midfield, and Camavinga was there ahead of Brandt, and Real have got it back, albeit inside their own half.
Yeah, just looking at the Dortmund lineup, they're quite happy. Shan is the one just patrolling in front of the back 4, and it's going to be really important, the job that he does. Brandt and Sabitzer just pushed on a little bit, and what that'll do either side of Shan, the Real Madrid players will try and get into those spaces to receive and turn.
Yeah, it's pretty much 4-1-4-1 for Dortmund in these early stages. Possession that much more even now as the ball is played forward towards the edge of the penalty area for a darting run from Valverde. And the referee just puts his arms out to indicate there was no foul. The ball runs through for Kobel, away to our left. Real have beaten German sides twice in the final before, way back in that the Park thriller of 1960 against Eintracht Frankfurt, the 7-3. And more recently against Bayer Leverkusen in 2002. And I've seen German opposition a fair few times in the competition over the course of this season as well. Unbeaten in 6 games, 4 wins, 2 draws, and 4 wins all coming though just by the odd goal. Camavinga's got the ball in the midfield. Lays it back for Toni Kroos. Kroos, who plays deeper and deeper these days, often splitting the 2 centre-halves as he does now. He's in a kind of slightly advanced libero role. Rudiger playing it back for Nacho, the Real Madrid captain. Nacho, who has only played in one of the last 5 Champions League finals, which has been at the club. Kroos with a long diagonal goes out towards the right-hand side. Valverde on the end of a Carvajal flick, scampers to keep it in down by the corner flag. Lays it back for Carvajal on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Good interplay between the pair, and then a left-footed shot whistles way over the bar. Out of play for a goal kick. Valverde with the effort. We're 11 minutes in. in, and it's still goalless on TalkSport.
Yeah, on that phase of play there, Madrid playing at a tempo that Dortmund are struggling a little bit to stay with. Good switch of play, good intricacies. When they've tried to play out Dortmund, Kobel looks a little bit hesitant on his left foot.
It's a goal kick, which is worked back to Kobel, back centre-half Schlotterbeck. And Kobel whacks it forward. Fulkrug coming to meet him, deliberately mistimed his jump to try and put Mendy off. Mendy won it and then just walks away feeling his thigh for a moment, but no sense that he's not able to continue. Ball work between the lines for Bellingham, who drops deep and feeds Vinicius. Vinicius taking on Rierson again, trying to go outside him, and Hummels came across the tag team and did well just to stick a foot in to be able to get it away and stop Vinicius coming across to put a cross in. And it's absolutely crucial from a Dortmund perspective that Hummels is able to do that. Now they work it forward towards Sancho. He's fouled by Camavinga, and it's a free kick to Dortmund 10 yards inside the Real Madrid half.
I think Camavinga's very, very fortunate not to get booked for that. Sancho had got away from him, just ticked him down. I think you've got to book a player if he does something as calculated as that.
A huge amount of cynicism in the challenge. He's got away with it. Here's Hummels, played forward towards Rierson. Rierson continuing his run. Sancho knew that he couldn't get the ball over the top of Mendy to find him, so he's worked it back instead through the midfield. To Dortmund supporters, you can hear they've been in a fantastic voice for the last 4 or 5 hours or so. Ball over the top here. Fulkrug, probably offside, brings the ball down anyway. Left-hand side of the penalty area, pulls it back for Julian Brandt, and he's flicked it to the outside of the right boot and away past Courtois' far post and out of play for a goal kick. And everybody from a Real Madrid perspective looked at the assistant referee and he said no, he was offside.
I'll tell you what, the linesman just in front of me, he's given a sign that I've never seen in football before. He's put his flag up to give a goal kick, and with his left hand by his side, he's gone that, waved the left hand saying, I'm not sure to the referee whether it was on or off. Fair play to him.
Well, I can understand why he wasn't sure. Having seen a replay, I still wasn't sure.
No,
being able to read it in normal time. Here's Bellingham. Bellingham played down to the left-hand side for Mendy. 14 minutes in here on TalkSport. Still largely chanceless in the final. Kroos forward towards Camavinga, who's crowded out of it, but there was space on the left for Bellingham. Bellingham, who tends to gravitate out towards the left-hand side in this Real Madrid 4-4-2 formation. Kroos firing it out wide. Carvajal's ball back in towards the edge of the penalty area. Finishes on his left foot. Another skying effort that clears the bar.
I've got to say, if I'm looking at Dortmund now and saying where's the weak points, where's the pinch points in their team, it's going to be either side of Emre Can. He's got too much field to cover either side, and on that occasion it was Camavinga who slipped forward into the area, received, no one near him got turned, and they built from there. That's the area.
Kobel with another long clearance through the midfield. Fulkrug able to flick it on. Sancho coming into a central position. Couldn't get the better of Mendy. His back pass towards Courtois. Touch on the brisk side, but there was nobody there to put his control under pressure. He's playing out towards Rudiger, and then Nacho will work it down towards the blonde-haired Toni Kroos. What an extraordinary career he's had. His 731st and final club game of his career. 465 of those have been for Real Madrid. 20 of them have been against Dortmund. Just the one goal. Ball helped on through the midfield by Nacho. Chested down by Jude Bellingham. 34th Champions League tie for him tonight at the age of 20. Some going. Bellingham working into his left-hand side. Vinicius couldn't find a way past Hummels, who again just came out covered in front of Rierson. But when he does so, the Norwegian fullback will just drop back inside. Hummels probably a better tackler than the aforementioned Julian Rierson. Dortmund so far have been able to work it relatively effectively. Here's Toni Kroos, 16 gone at 0-0. Mendy 10 yards inside the Borussia Dortmund half. Back for Kroos. Camavinga with the dreadlocks. Kroos chipping it over the top again. It bounces twice and goes through for Kobel away to our left-hand side. After us tonight, more live sport for you. Adam Cantor will bring you Fight Night. Don't miss any of the action with our Queensbury against Manchester in 5v5 watch-along tonight. That's over on the TalkSport Boxing YouTube channel right now, and we'll be here on TalkSport at the conclusion of this game. And the trophy lift. 17 minutes in tonight, 0-0. Belling, beat by Sabitzer. Work down the line for Riasson. Has to stretch and bring the ball under control. Mendy with an excellent sliding challenge. Stop the ball finding Sancho. And then Kroos elegantly brings the ball through the midfield to find Valverde. Carvajal put under it. Immediate pressure by Adeyemi. Conjured up a brilliant turn. And then Camavinga with a switch of play will bring Rodrigo in on the left-hand side. All three of the most advanced players in this Real Madrid team have had a spell out on the left already, giving Riasson plenty to think about. Bellingham's got it now, but in a much more central area. 25 yards outside the Dortmund box. Back from him to Camavinga. Frenchman goes wide for Dani Carvajal. Camavinga again, slotting it forward. Clever little step over from Vinicius, and then a strong challenge coming in from Sabitzer. The referee said it was too strong on Jude Bellingham, who's down holding his right ankle. Dortmund don't like the decision. Mats Hummels has come across and is arguing the toss with Slavko Vincic, the referee, but the official has given the free kick for the misjudged lunge by Sabitzer. It's a free kick which Real will take about 20 yards outside the box.
And I think the referee reacting on the reaction of Jude Bellingham on the floor there rather than the incident itself.
Hummels agrees with you. Nacho back out to Camavinga. Real just work the free kick sideways rather than forwards. Camavinga's got it. And he goes back inside his own half for Thibaut Courtois. Courtois, who's playing in his third Champions League final tonight. First one came against Real, the second one for them. First one back in his Atletico Madrid days. Lost that one, won the second one. Here's Kroos inside the centre circle. Ball from him into Vinicius. Hummels stepped up from the defensive line, following him every step of the way. Scrappy passenger play ends up with Dortmund winning the seconds in the midfield. Another poor challenge from Camavinga. He's got to be careful. It's the second that he's perpetrated tonight. Referee played the advantage. Dortmund had the ball, but he didn't have it for long, and Kroos has got it back. Ball play down towards Mendy. All live football coming your way. Monday night, the pre-Euros international friendly start. England in action against the Bosnians up in Newcastle. And the build-up starts at 7 ahead of an 8 p.m. kick-off here at TalkSport. Adrian Durham in the chair and Stuart alongside him for that. And we'll be back here at Wembley next Friday night for a game against Iceland, which, if you're an England supporter, just the mention of the word still puts fear in your hearts. England against Iceland, don't worry, it'll be all right this time, I promise you. It's live next Friday night. All over on the right-hand side with Dani Carvajal, sweeping inside the penalty area. Jude Bellingham going up for it, bring the ball under control, and Sancho's going to be able to bring it away and then win a throw. Ball out of play for a throw which will be taken on the right-hand side. Several of the players featuring tonight, hoping for placing the starting lineup for their respective countries in the Euros, including the first game, Germany against Scotland. Our coverage of every single game of the Euros beginning a week Friday, 14th of June, with Germany, Scotland. And that'll be live here on TalkSport. Great through ball here. Courtois is out, he's not going to get there. Adeyemi past him. Courtois done enough to make the angle prohibitive, and Adeyemi, by the time he gets a shot in, would have hit the side netting. It was deflected behind for a corner. That was one very sweet through ball, and Courtois racing off his line, got there in time.
Well, I've got to say, the movement was absolutely brilliant, and when he bore down on Courtois, I think he should do a lot better than that. His first touch took him so wide. You've even got to carry on your run and initiate some form of contact, but he didn't do that. He was very genuine at Adeyemi and was forced too wide.
Corner taken short, now works inside the penalty area. Courtois comes out, gathers at the third attempt, but critically is able to get his hands on the ball. It was good goalkeeping. He was out very quickly, forced Adeyemi's hand, but as you say, Adeyemi had actually taken effectively an even worse touch and put it straight into Courtois. The contact would have been initiated and well have won a penalty. As it was, he gets a corner and Dortmund have done nothing with it. But on the counter-attack they look like it.
Well, they do, and the one good thing is you looked, you thought, is he offside? He was well onside, and listen, when you get one-on-one opportunities at this standard of football, you've really got to take them.
Again, you're not necessarily the player they would have wanted that to fall to. He's only scored 5 this season, although a couple of those came in the group, one against Milan, one against PSG as well. Very difficult group of Dortmund that successfully navigated with Newcastle also in there. Finishes through the midfield, and Rodrigo will play it back to him. Vinicius with a clever touch with his right foot into his left. Reasson was deceived. Martin can knock the resulting cross away, and then Adeyemi will help it forward towards Julian Brandt. Brandt through the midfield. Excellent play by Emre Can, the former Liverpool man, turning it forward to the Manchester United man Marcel Sabitzer. Now Sancho, back for Sabitzer, right hand side of the area, he's pulled it back towards the penalty spot. Now a Dortmund player goes down, it's Adeyemi. Referee says no penalty. No complaints from the German winger either. Ball won back then by Madsen, and he'll drive forward for Dortmund towards the edge of the penalty. Slipping it in for Fulkrug, whose shot comes back off the post through the 6-yard box, and Real Madrid are going to be able to get it away. Their goal leading such a charmed life. Fulkrug hitting the post, and it remains 0-0.
Well, in the last couple of minutes we've had a one-on-one, we've had another one-on-one that's hit the post. The thing is with Madrid, when you do counter and you get the opportunity, there's always 3 or 4 of their players the wrong side of the ball looking back on the play, and Dortmund nearly broke the deadlock.
What a chance for Nicolas Fulkrug, who scored 2 goals in his last 3 Champions League ties. One against Atletico in the quarter-final second leg, the winner in the first leg of the semis against PSG, and he should have put his side a goal up in the final, although having seen the replay, it might actually not have counted. He would have been really close to being offside. But he got it wide of Courtois, ball coming back off the post, off the inside of the post, and then wide of the other post before Real Madrid were able to somehow scramble it clear. They've had their warnings. They'll bring it forward now with Rudiger. 24 minutes gone. Dortmund with the 2 best chances of the game. But it remains 0-0 here on TalkSport.
Well, it's an intriguing game. You would have said that Madrid are probably the side that have had the ascendancy of the game, but certainly the best chances so far have fallen to Dortmund, and 2 chances they'll be really, really disappointed they haven't taken.
Well, now a concern for Emre Can, who is sitting down in the heart of the midfield and feeling his left knee. And the Borussia Dortmund medical staff, now given the permission to come back onto the field, will attend to him. What have you made of the opening 25 minutes as a whole then? The bizarre start to the pitch invaders, so much Real Madrid pressure and possession, and Dortmund missing 2 really good chances.
Yeah, it's been a difficult one to quantify. Yeah, I mean, at this stage you're going to turn around and say, well, one team or the other team have looked more dominant. You would say on the ball Madrid have looked a little bit more clinical with their passing, but Dortmund are the ones that have created the chances in the free play, and when they've turned it over, 2 passes in behind have been absolutely sumptuous.
Let's bring our European football expert Kevin Hatchard into it, Kev.
I think Dortmund will be really pleased with how it's gone so far, because I don't think you guys have mentioned Gregor Kobel at all so far. He's not really been tested at all. I think the shape is working. It's a concern here that Emre Can is struggling, but the fact that they've been able to get Adeyemi in, the fact that Fulkrug, I think maybe was offside before he hit the post, but maybe we'll see, but the fact that they've been able to get them in, Real have looked pretty sloppy, I think, so far without the ball, so I think Dortmund will be very pleased so far.
Well, they'll certainly be very pleased. As I say, we're 25 minutes into this game, and they're the ones that have looked more likely to score goals. And Madrid, I always felt with Madrid, you've got the opportunity. They want to play nice football, they want to counter-attack quite well, but they certainly leave themselves open to the counter-attack and balls in behind, because they are such a possession-based side.
And we're back underway, and Emre Can has come back onto the field. He's certainly fit enough to continue for now. 26 minutes gone. 0-0 between Dortmund and Real Madrid in the 69th European Cup final. Dortmund have won one of the previous 68 back in 1997 in Munich. Karl-Heinz Riedler, who got a couple of goals that day here today. He brought the Champions League trophy out onto the field along with Zinedine Zidane. Brilliant play by Vinicius, able to turn Rierson, getting it inside the 6-yard box, and a sliding Schlotterbeck steers it clear, and a play for a throw. That was the first really potent ball, but one of the Real Madrid forwards has been able to play inside the penalty area. Dortmund at full stretch to be able to deal with the threat. From the throw, they've lost possession though. Sabitzer, turned forward by Sancho. Here they come on the counter-attack. Yellow shirts marauding forward. Brown playing in Adeyemi. It's missed one chance. Courtois saves that. Ricochets up in the air. Fulcrum throwing himself at it. Very high tariff chance. Couldn't get a header on target. And Courtois saves. They can't deal with the pace of Adeyemi in behind Carvajal.
They can't, and the one thing, if you can't deal with the pace, the last thing you need is quality of pass in behind at the right way, and I've got to say Dortmund have certainly delivered that on 2 or 3 occasions so far.
Senses a great degree of optimism amongst the high decibels from the Dortmund supporters away to our right. It's a much more conservative set of Real Madrid supporters away to our left. There's Fede Valverde, Uruguay, controlling the ball over on the right-hand touchline for Real Madrid, working it back for Camavinga into the feet of Jude Bellingham, who played 132 games, I beg your pardon, as Borussia Dortmund man. A couple of dozen goals he scores tonight. He will already have scored as many goals for Real Madrid as he did for the Schwarzgelb. Camavinga in the midfield, lays it back for Nacho. Bearded centre half of the Real Madrid camp. Down from him towards Vinicius. Vinicius to Mendy. Mendy to Camavinga. Camavinga playing it back to halfway for Nacho. Sustained spell of possession here for Real Madrid, who get it out towards the right-hand side. Another ball in. Schlotterbeck taking a step back, spoons it high up in the air to clear it. Hudson trying to defend. Has it gone out of play for a corner? It has. It's won by Carvajal. It's the first that Real Madrid have had tonight.
Yeah, Madrid need a little bit of inspiration, I think. You know, they're very left-centric in their 2 strikers, in Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior playing on this left side. The opportunity to switch play to the right has been on a couple of occasions, but certainly the last 10 minutes or so has all been about Dortmund and the opportunities they've created.
Toni Kroos to take this corner for Real Madrid. Half an hour gone at 0-0 on TalkSport. It's going to be a right-footed outswing. Carvajal making a run in towards the near post area. It almost got to him. Good defensive header, gets it away. And again, Real all over the place as Dortmund bringing forward. They've come 6 against 3 if they can work it right here. Sancho chipping the ball out towards the left-hand side. Ball from back towards Adeyemi, who goes down. Challenge from Mendy. Referee did really well to get there and see it and says no penalty. But boy, did they get the body sport quick.
What a counter-attack from a corner that was. Defending their own box from a corner. They've got a half clearance on it, and from that moment on, 6 players set sail as though their life depended on it. An incredible counter-attack.
And what that will do is just put the fear into Real Madrid minds for the next time that they get an attacking set piece, and whether they can commit the bodies forward. And when they push Carvajal forward there, they left hardly anybody back, and again, Dortmund really should have made more of the opportunity. They're already getting into the kind of territory where Edin Terzic will be looking at this and thinking, well, if we don't end up winning this, we've had the opportunities to really get ourselves into a strong position. It's a poor challenge by Valverde, right in front of Terzic, who told him what he thought of it. Adeyemi, Mark Mann, he's gone in out of control over the top of the ball. Didn't really make too much contact with Adeyemi, and that's what stopped him getting at least a yellow card. But it was an injudicious, out of control lunge. 0-0, 31 gone. Dortmund will be frustrated that they haven't got their noses in front of them. Borussia on halfway, back towards Hummels. Hummels to his left-hand side for Emre Can. He seems okay after that bit of treatment that he had. Worked intelligently through the midfield there by Madsen. Sancho, who found himself in the centre circle for a moment off the right wing. Couldn't do anything constructive with it. Gets a second bite of the cherry now. Takes it on so far. A little 1-2 and then a second 1-2 with Sabitzer. The Austrian then turns the ball the other way. Finding Schlotterbeck. Now back to Sabitzer again. Controlling the ball with his right foot, checking and working the ball back parallel to the halfway.
Well, the talk of the press room beforehand was Ancelotti and his team were just wanting to concentrate on themselves, weren't too fussed about Dortmund and what they had to offer. I think on 30 odd minutes now there's a different mentality, certainly with Carlo Ancelotti and his coaching staff.
They won't quite be panic stricken, but they will have seen a fair few things that might frighten them. Saved by the frame of the goal so far. Played forward now. Borussia chasing up. He's going to get there. Right hand side of the penalty area. Good check back inside the box. Couldn't get a cross in. Nacho saw to that. Now Sancho will try and cut between the two Real Madrid players. It comes back for Borussia again. And the referee has given a free kick Mendy's way. He's gone down hurt just outside his own penalty area. That was Sancho after Kroos tried to get in there. Sancho then trying to get the better of him. Riasson maybe the man that caught him. Mendy's okay.
I think we've got a referee that reacts to the players and their reaction to going on the floor. For me, there was no free kick at all involved in that situation, and they got very, very fortunate there, Madrid.
Been a couple of good articles this week about Carlo Ancelotti's relationship with his son Davide, and how he's the trusted lieutenant who listens to everything he says. Ancelotti Jr. was very animated there over on the far side in the ear of his old man, telling him what he thought and what needs to change. Here's Valverde over on the Real Madrid right hand side. Carvajal making a good run forward, there was a poor touch, and Madsen was able to shepherd that over the line and out of play for a goal kick. 11 to go to half-time. Real Madrid know they're in a game that the 15th Champions League European Cup is going to be no formality. 0-0, Dortmund the better team.
Yeah, so they certainly are on chances. They've had two very, very clear-cut chances, but until you put the ball in the back of the net, you never actually know. Once again, the referee has seen the goalkeeper roll around, and until you actually re-see it again, probably not as much contact as Kobel was making out.
And so the ball was played back for Kobel, and Vinicius really steamed in to try and close him down and put the pressure on. We'll have a look at a replay now, Stuart.
Yeah, but he certainly was on there to make some form of challenge. Goalkeepers played it, and to be fair, his leading leg certainly didn't make contact. The goalkeeper's pirouetted over the top. Listen, some slight contact, but not as much as that.
But it results in a 11th yellow card of the season for Vinicius. First player booked tonight. Kobel's okay. Essentially probably was going to be. The reserve goalkeepers, incidentally, Alex Maé be the man that would come on. He played in the first leg against PSV, which is his only appearance in Europe this season, but he has played 9 games. They've also got Polish youngster Marcel Lotka on the bench, but he's very lightly raced at top class level. Only a handful of Bundesliga appearances for Hertha Berlin behind. Clearance then from Kobel, long ball forward, going up for it, Fulkrug and Mendy, neither got a touch. It clears the pair of them, and Rudiger hooks it over his own shoulder and puts it out for a throw that Riasson will take on the Borussia Dortmund right-hand side. 0-0 the score. The XG, incidentally, almost 2 for Dortmund and barely anything for Real Madrid, which is probably a pretty fair reflection of what we've seen.
I think if anything, Real Madrid will be a little bit shaken at this stage of the game. Started very reasonably well, first 10 minutes or so. Vinicius Junior had a couple of decent runs, but since then they've sort of faded out the game a little bit, and it's Dortmund who look very confident in their play.
All round have been able to offer a couple of off-target shots on the right-hand side of the penalty area that have flown over Kobel's bar. Dortmund have had 7 attempts, but critically, only one of the 7 has been on target. They work the crossfield ball now down towards Jadon Sancho, right in front of us. We're midway inside the half that Dortmund are attacking in this first half. It's clear Sancho and gone out of play for a throw that will be taken by Mendy. Real Madrid left back takes the throw into the feet of Toni Kroos, and he gets it back and works it right through his penalty area. Carvajal cushions the header back to his goalkeeper Courtois. He is very quick to get Real going again by bowling it out towards Nacho. And now Kroos has it in the midfield and works it forward into the feet of Camavinga. He can go to half-time here on TalkSport at 0-0. Don't forget, live right now over on the TalkSport Boxing YouTube channel. It's the watch-along, Queensbury against Matchroom 5v5 watch-along. Right now over on the TalkSport Boxing YouTube channel, and coverage continues following the Champions League final here on TalkSport as well. Nacho in possession, finding Toni Kroos, 8 to go to half-time. Vinicius, one player in the book so far, and is gone down again. Riasson in strongly, and the long-haired Norwegian has given a free kick away, and then another Real ball as Sabitzer was in. The referee has said that the free kick, and the original free kick's got to be retaken. He's happy with the original take. Mendy takes it. Back for Kroos, now to Rudiger. And a high long diagonal from him, brought down beautifully by Vinicius on his right thigh. Lays the ball back for Mendy towards the edge of the penalty area. Mendy ends up going a little bit deeper, plays it back for Nacho. Everybody bar Courtois away to our left-hand side in that half of the field. Valverde trying to turn it round the corner. It's well cleared by Maatsen into Carvajal, and out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, Zadiami there once again dropping back into that sort of defensive responsibility following Carvajal and just dealing with any threat. Obviously it's going to be a big part of what he has to do today, but at the moment Real Madrid have lost any rhythm to their game, to be honest.
So 6 final in 11 seasons. They've got an extraordinary record in the showpiece events. The last side to beat them in a European Cup final was Liverpool back in 1981. Last time to beat them in a European final at all was Aberdeen a couple of years later with that extraordinary Fergie-inspired miracle. Riasson getting inside the penalty area, and Camavinga clears. Ball out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Borussia Dortmund right. The upshot of that is they've won each of their last 8 Champions League or European Cup finals around Madrid. Second best in this one at the moment, albeit it's still 0-0. Sancho's just run down a blind alley. Bellingham can get the ball away. Play down towards the left-hand side for Vinicius. Hummel's indicating that he thought Vinicius died. Vinicius has won the free kick. There's a delegation of men in yellow and black that race across to the referee. One of them was Schlotterbeck, and he gets a yellow card for dissent.
I've got to say, Jim, the referee is probably the worst man to put in charge of a game of this nature. We've just seen the replay of that. He just gives free kicks for the reaction of the players rolling around, and if he thinks the reaction is the reaction of someone who's been fouled, that is a really, really dangerous thing to do, because you'll end up having to send somebody off. And at this moment in time, I'm not sure he calls it as a free kick. He calls it after the fact, and that's worrying.
So we've seen 2 booked. Vinicius for a foul. Probably wasn't a yellow card. Schlotterbeck for dissent, arguing about a free kick given for a foul that probably wasn't a foul. Toni Kroos has got the ball in the midfield. His right-hand side is Rudiger. Rudiger forward towards Dani Carvajal. You're with TalkSport. It's the Champions League final, and it's still 0-0. It's been highly entertaining and very stock full of intrigue. Brandt doing well, working it forward through the midfield. Sabitzer trying his luck, good save. Courtois diving to his right hand side. What made it a better save was it took a little bit of a nasty bounce in front of it. Although it wasn't arrowing towards the corner, he did well as he just leapt up a little bit more than he anticipated off the turf. On the second bounce, got his hands behind it and pushes it away for a corner that Julian Brandt's going to go across the town.
Yeah, I totally agree, Jim. As I say, it was a comfortable save that should have been made, but they're the sort that bounce over your hands and skim off you into the back of the net.
So Brandt to take this corner. It's Dortmund's third. It'll be an in-swinger this time. He started it very wide. It's easily headed away. Comes out towards Sancho. Sancho taking a touch, getting the better of Vinicius. Referee takes evasive action with the ball intended for Madsen. And the Dutchman out towards Brandt. Cross-fired in from him, headed away by Camavinga. And he goes out for another Borussia Dortmund throw. 15 yards, maybe not even that, outside the Real Madrid penalty area on the far side. Terzic stands in his black pullover on what is an unseasonably cold June night. It really is June, feels like March here in North London tonight. Terzic will be delighted with everything apart from the scoreline. It's 0-0. He'll feel that his side definitely deserve to be ahead. Sabitzer goes back for Chan. And then Hummels bringing the ball forward. Hummels, who's playing his 507th match for Borussia Dortmund today, his second Champions League final for them. Riasson down the right-hand touchline. Sancho's got away from Toni Kroos, makes his way inside the penalty area, pulling it back behind Riasson. Sabitzer coming onto it. It was just tickled out of his path. And now Mendy, right in front of the assistant referee, invited a push from Sabitzer. There's hardly any contact. He's going to get a yellow card. Well, I can only imagine that's for his reaction. The referee is losing a grip of this very quickly.
Well, to be fair, we've got a really good game on our hands, an intriguing game, and the referee's doing his level best and the officials to make it a game that's going to be an absolute shambles, because he'll have to end up sending somebody off for something quite innocuous the way he's going on.
So Sabitzer is in the book. Kroos taking the free kick. We also get to the stage where the players very quickly understand how a game is being policed, and they will just play act up to the hill. Here's Vinicius, left-hand side of the penalty area. Clean challenge by Hummels. And not only has he won it cleanly, he's been able to flick it into Vinicius. It goes out of play for a Dortmund throw. There's a big sarcastic grin on the face of Vinicius, who thought that it should have gone the other way. The replay shows that Slavko Vincic got that one absolutely correct.
I've got to say, Hummels done extremely well there. When you're left one-on-one with Vinicius Junior, you've either got to back off and delay or time your tackle impeccably, and he done the latter.
Rolling back the years tonight, the 35-year-old at the heart of the Borussia Dortmund defence has had a really good night so far. Madsen losing out to Valverde. Schlotterbeck came across to remedy the situation for Dortmund, and it goes out of play for a throw. We're in the final minute of the first half, at least two to be added because of the pitch invaders in the first half. And we've seen Emre Can down in need of treatment. That'll add probably a minute on, and now Schlotterbeck has gone down, so I think we can anticipate 4 additional minutes. Schlotterbeck is being helped back to his feet. Carlo Ancelotti, never a man to betray his emotions unnecessarily, but he has this little habit of, every time he's concerned, getting his box of Smints out and throwing 4 or 5 down his throat. Other minty snacks are available, but he should be sponsored by them because he gets through a fair few, and he's probably on about his 5th packet so far. We're into those 4 additional minutes. There's Adeyemi over on the left-hand touchline, taking on one. Couldn't beat the second Real Madrid player. Camavinga's got it, palming it down, goes back for Rudiger. Rudiger takes a touch. With his second finds Thibaut Courtois, who having his lucky stars that his clean sheet is still intact, though he has more than played a part in that. Rudiger is 15 yards inside his own half as he plays it forward towards Valverde. Carvajal a little bit higher down the right-hand touchline is brought into play. Camavinga helps it forward. Inside the centre circle is Kroos. Kroos down to the Real Madrid left-hand side for Mendy. Mendy getting the ball forward to Vinicius and then getting it back again. Kroos working a skidding ball through the centre circle out towards Rudiger. Dortmund just keeping a watchful eye on proceedings at the moment in the face of all of this Real Madrid possession, but it's not in areas that can hurt them right now. Rudiger goes square to his left-hand side for Toni Kroos. Stoppage time at the end of the first half, 0-0. Dortmund's XG nearly 2 better than Real Madrid's up to this point, which just shows you the quality of opportunities they've had and spurned. Nacho studs at his right foot over the top of the ball just to bring it to a standstill. Kroos to Rudiger. White sweatband around his left wrist. And towards the right-hand side of Dani Carvajal. Schlotterbeck will be able to clear from the edge of the penalty area. Brandt went up for that with Camavinga. And the loose ball goes into neutral territory. Kroos first there to be able to pick it up. A little 1-2 between him and Nacho. And then Kroos will be able to get it forward again. Well, we talked about the opportunities that Dortmund have created, but credit as well to them for the rearguard action that they've shown in being able to soak up the pressure and limit the opportunities that Real themselves have been able to create, because Real hasn't had a worthwhile save to make so far.
No, we certainly haven't. As I say, those first 10 minutes where you thought, hang on a minute, Madrid have got into a rhythm here. Since then, Dortmund have been very, very impressive.
Now Rieston's got it on the right-hand side of the area. He's played it back for Jadon Sancho. Sancho went the ball from his left foot to his right, and then another little step over and a tricky touch from him. Rieston tried to emulate that, never did so with a great degree of conviction and lost the ball. Schlotterbeck can pick it up. Oh, it's a good ball between the lines. He's got it out towards Adeyemi. Left-hand side of the area, stood it up towards the far post. Nobody gambled. Sancho couldn't get there in time. Fulkrug made a run towards the near post. Dortmund end up getting a throw down by the corner flag, and Sancho asks the yellow wall. It's a temporary home at Wembley tonight for a little bit more noise. Dortmund are going to end this first half with another corner, which is their fourth. Brandt will come across to take it. Sancho had spotted the ball down for him. Brandt didn't want it there. He's moved it down towards the right-hand touchline rather than on the dead ball line. So it's a right-footed away swinger from Brandt. Plenty of whip on it. Hummels was arriving late. Well, he was headed out of his flight path. Loose ball breaks out towards Madsen. Left-hand side of the penalty area. His cross wins another corner that there'll barely be time to take. And Brandt will trot over towards the far side to take it. Can they make the fifth corner count right at the end of this first half?
Certainly, with these fans behind the goal beckoning the ball into the back of the net. And 5 players in the box, ringing it with 3 others. Good opportunity so far. Rudiger's done particularly well at getting first contact on a few.
Last chance of the first half, 0-0. In from Brandt, plenty of whip on him. Valverde heads it away, and that will see us through the half-time goalless, and Real Madrid will be delighted that that is the case. Borussia Dortmund might only have finished 5th in the Bundesliga, but they've made a great case so far for the fact that they should be ahead at half-time. This isn't the formality that many Real Madrid supporters anticipated it might be. Dortmund, the better team, they've hit the post, they've had a couple of really good one-on-one opportunities, but haven't found the breakthrough. Everything but the goal at Wembley for the yellow and black. It's Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 0 at the break. Well, considering the pyrotechnics are banned here at Wembley, they've done an astonishing job getting that lot in, because there must be 50 or 60 flares lit away to our right-hand side. It is, I think, going to delay the start of this second half. The Dortmund supporters have been in magnificent voice throughout. There's clouds of smoke greet the whistle at the beginning of this second period. We are back underway, and no changes in personnel from either side ahead of the start of this second half. We'll run through the two teams for you in a moment. Toni Kroos in possession for Real Madrid. It's 0-0. And Sancho will work the ball out towards the left-hand side for Ferland Mendy. In towards Bellingham. Mendy taking it on. Can't be Griezmann, who will just tuck it back through the midfield for Emre Can. Can doing well. Looking for Julian Brandt. Possession turned over. Dortmund backpedaling really quickly. Vinicius has got the ball at his feet and he can pop it off back towards Toni Kroos. And towards Mendy again. Mendy a yard in from the left-hand touchline. Over on the far touchline, it's Real Madrid left. And they're kicking from left to right as we look at it here at Wembley, live on TalkSport. Valverde down towards Dani Carvajal, over to win this competition for a sixth time. Valverde again, clipping it inside the penalty area. Easy for Schlotterbeck to knock away. He's one of 3 players booked so far. Sabitzer and Vinicius are the others. Adeyemi coming forward. Valverde can't get there. Sabitzer's got it. Sabitzer clipping it left-footed. Out into space for Jadon Sancho. Down towards the corner flag over on the far touchline for Borussia Dortmund. 0-0, 90 seconds gone at the start of the second half. In towards Riasson, and he's won another corner, which is the 6th that Dortmund have had in this game, to just 1 for Real Madrid. This is how they line up. Dortmund, Kobel in goal, Riasson, Hummels, Schlotterbeck and Madsen, Can and Sabitzer, Sancho, Brandt and Adeyemi, and Füllkrug. For Real is Courtois in goal, Carvajal, Rudiger, Nacho and Mendy, Valverde, Camavinga, Kroos and Bellingham, Rodrigo and Vinicius. 47 gone, 0-0. Brandt to take another corner. He's taken each of the preceding 5. Raises his left arm above his head. It's another away swinger. Adeyemi going up for it. Steered away. And Vinicius will be able to lead a counter-attack now for Real Madrid. And Riasson comes across to try and hold him up. But still he's got it, making his way towards the edge of the penalty area, Vinicius. And Hummels eventually got back. Knocked it away. Well, the referee says he fouled it. And it's a free kick right on the corner of the penalty area. Stuart Pearce.
I think we've just seen the difference between the 2 teams there. In the first half, Dortmund counter-attacked and they managed to turn a sort of 6 versus 3 in their favour with the pace that they went on the counter-attack. On that occasion, Vinicius Junior broke on his own and 7 players for Dortmund recovered to make it 7 against 2. That work rate might get them over the line, maybe.
Well, Toni Kroos has had such an illustrious career. For Bayern Munich, for Real Madrid, for Germany as well. This is last ever club game and he stands now hoping that he can pen a very effective final chapter. He's taking control of this free kick. Just level with the left-hand side of the penalty area and 3 yards adrift at the edge of the box. Dortmund have lined up a 3-man wall. Everybody else for Dortmund back inside their own penalty area. It's Kroos that takes it, swings it in, good save. Kobel diving away to his right-hand side, able to ping it away and out for a corner.
Really good effort there, up and down, over the top of the wall. The goalkeeper, a couple of paces across, probably going to slam the post. He weren't to know that and just tipped it behind.
Real's second corner of the day, headed over the bar by Carvajal. Came to meet it, darting near post run, and climbed the highest to get there first. But a glancing header clears the bar by about 1.5 feet.
Say the smoke from the flares just clearing and wafting down the pitch now.
It's meant for a very heavy atmosphere at the beginning of this second half. A heady atmosphere and a heavy atmosphere as well. 4.5 gone, 0-0. Füllkrug trying to turn the ball through the midfield. Can wins the second, so it's played to it by Madsen. Can able to bring the ball forward towards the edge of the centre circle and work it wide for Riasson, who was thought by many to be one of the weaklings in this Dortmund team, but she's had a very good night and has given Real a bit to think about going the other way as well. Schlotterbeck turning it forward. Madsen level with him, picks it up and then chips an excellent ball out towards the Norwegian international Riasson. Back from him to Sancho. Sabitzer will take over. Schlotterbeck played in again. To his left hand side is Adeyemi, who had a one-on-one early in in the game. Work forward instead towards Fulkrug on the edge of the penalty area. Madsen getting in there, right-footed effort, takes a deflection, spins over the bar for another corner to Dortmund.
Yeah, you mentioned about Riasson and why he's done quite well. What he's done, he's shut the distances down on the switch of play or balls into Vinicius Junior, who's been on the width on the left-hand side. He shut the distances down really quickly. He's got it wrong once where he just was slightly late and he was skipped past. Apart from that, he's done very, very well, and Sancho's doubled up on him on occasion.
To take another corner, but only after the referees had a word with a few players inside the box. He's worked this one short towards the left-hand side of the penalty area, gets a return ball, but his cross was too low and flat, headed away by Camavinga. Madsen trying to help it on, couldn't get the better of Vinicius. It's cleared by Carvajal, but not effectively, because he passed it straight through the midfield for Emre Can. Riasson, the deepest of the Dortmund outfield players, has got plenty of time to pick a pass, and he's elected to play in Can again. And the former Liverpool man can work it forward over the halfway line for Schlotterbeck. Another Champions League final that promises to be a low scorer. That's been the situation in recent seasons. One goal has often been enough. The last four finals have been won by the first goal. The last final that both teams scored was back in 2018. Dortmund picking up at the beginning of this second half where they left off at the end of the first. Good pressure from there, and they've won another corner. This their seventh. Brandt across to take this one to right wing corner this time. No thoughts of going short this time. Swung inside the penalty area, heads go up for it. It's skewed out towards the left hand side of the box and out for a goal kick. Schlotterbeck was the furthest Dortmund player forward, just lost his footing as he tried to turn the ball back through the penalty area. What's going through Carlo Ancelotti's mind? Because the opening 7 minutes of the second half, Stuart Pearce, have done nothing to suggest that there's been a wholesale improvement from a Real perspective.
No, I totally agree, and as I say, it's Dortmund that are growing and growing in confidence. From his point of view, I don't know, the closer it gets to that 60-70 minute mark, the more you look at someone like Modric. We spoke about him changing the course of a game, knowing what's needed at certain times, and Madrid probably have been a little bit starved of possession, and that will worry them slightly. We're seeing Riasson as well playing more in advanced areas and having to do his defensive work. Now, if you've picked him out as one of your sort of weak links in Dortmund's side, the fact that he's doing the things he's enjoying doing now, getting forward, he's almost playing right wing.
Is he being a little bit too adventurous though? Is Vinicius just waiting to get him into his comfort zone? I'll come back to you in a moment for that as Madsen plays the ball forward and it's cleared out for Adeyemi. Good tackle on him on the edge of the penalty area. Camavinga will bring it away. Madsen tries to stop him by giving him a nudge to the ground. That might well have been a foul. Referee says no. And Dortmund have got it back now with Sabitzer, because the more that Riasson gambles to a certain extent and has an advanced position and further 10 yards forward up that right-hand touchline, the more Vinicius will be just rubbing his hands with glee, waiting for the right moment to be able to pounce.
Well, he will, but he's going to have to pounce 70 yards from goal, and I'm sure Dortmund will be absolutely delighted that he's that far away from their goal. Plus, they've got players behind the ball, and Can just operating with two central defenders.
It's the 2024 Champions League final. It's live on TalkSport, your Euro 2024 station. We've got every game of every kick of every game through the Euros here on the TalkSport network, which starts with Germany against Scotland a week on Friday. Scotland in action, remember, Monday night they go to Gibraltar. Sage, I was telling you earlier, Lyndon Dykes ruled out of the tournament because of a training ground accident, so he won't be involved. And Scotland go to Gibraltar Monday night on TalkSport 2. We will be in Newcastle for England against Bosnia-Herzegovina, which kicks off at 8 here on TalkSport on Monday. First half of an England double bill next week. They're also in action against Iceland here at Wembley next Friday night. We'll be bringing you that match as well. The Champions League final tonight, and it remains 0-0 somehow. Ball is out of play for Real Madrid free kick after a foul by Jadon Sancho over on the far touchline. Real working through through the midfield here for Tony Rudiger. Rudiger won this competition with Chelsea, getting his right foot underneath the ball, arcing a high delivery out towards the far touchline. Vinicius has got goal side of Riasson. Riasson recovers, but he hasn't got the ball back. Finishes with a very lofted crossfield pass. Rodrigo's had a quiet night, brings the ball under control, lays it back to Carvajal. Carvajal goes down off the ball with collision with Adeyemi. Camavinga in towards Bellingham. Bellingham pops it back off again, thought he was fouled. Carvajal is still down, and the referee will stop play. Adeyemi leans over him to offer to help him back to his feet, has his hand smacked away from him by Dani Carvajal. And it's just getting a little bit feisty at times. It was a pretty old-fashioned body check there from Karim Adeyemi.
Yeah, it was. As I say, I don't see any need to stop the game, if I'm being quite honest with you. You can tell Carvajal was about to get on his feet. Just looking at Rodrigo's position, I think in this second half he's playing, holding the width a bit more on the right. Maybe that's something that Ancelotti looked at and thought, you know what, you're playing more central, we're too overloaded on the left-hand side, it's too easy for them to defend.
Bellingham at the point of a midfield diamond, but playing as a false nine. Valverde. Camavinga letting the ball continue on its path. It rolls through for Toni Kroos. Right-footed clipped inside the area. Bellingham going up for the header. Carvajal, right-footed volley. And the goalkeeper got his hands behind it to make the save, although Maatsen, in trying to defend it, would certainly have put him off, but Kobel got his hands behind it, made the save, and it remains 0-0 with 12 gone the second half. Maatsen did well, actually, not to turn that past his keeper.
Yeah, top defending, actually. He'd done really well, got a solid block on it, and Kobel was pleased to see it bounce into his hands, but it's probably the first thing that the Real Madrid fans have had to shout about for the last 30 minutes or so.
Their shot on target. It's only their third of the night. 57 gone. And it remains 0-0. Don't forget, after us, Adam Catterall brings you Fight Night. You can catch up with all of the action with our Queensbury against Matchroom 5v5 watch along. It's over on the TalkSport Boxing YouTube channel right now, and it will follow the presentation of the trophy here at Wembley on TalkSport. Hummels fall through the midfield for Jadon Sancho. Sancho's been here, there and everywhere tonight. Certainly not keeping a position as an orthodox right winger. Schlotterbeck firing one over the top. Adeyemi saw it drop over his shoulder, threw out a left foot to try and control the ball, and it just evaded him and goes over the line for a throw, which Real will take in their right back position. 13 gone in the second half. Shown themselves to be, aside from the big occasion this season, Borussia Dortmund have taken points off Leverkusen twice, a 1-1 draw at home and away. They now haven't conceded in the last 265 minutes of Champions League action. That's not too far short of 4.5 hours, having kept PSG out on a couple of occasions, although had the woodwork to thank. It's Real that have had the woodwork to thank tonight as they look for their 15th European crown. Bellingham in the midfield of Valverde. Valverde goes back for Nacho, and he will play it out towards Mendy.
I wonder whether you're looking at Madrid and they've got their three midfield players all playing slightly too deep potentially. There's not one of them that have gone and joined an advanced area with Bellingham that have asked a real question of the central defenders or Shan a little bit. Certainly probably for large swathes of this game at least, you know, and you need that overload just to free up space for the likes of Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior.
So that's the responsibility, who on Valverde maybe, to make his way forward, and Camavinga just to be that little bit closer to Bellingham?
I think so. Certainly in the build-up. They're comfortable in possession. So in the build-up, there's three Madrid players in advanced areas. But what they need is that to be supplemented by at least one or even two of those central midfield players to get forward.
It's Schlotterbeck for Dortmund. We've played an hour and it remains 0-0. Potentially another hour ahead of us yet. Riasson. Bellingham comes back, tracks back and slides in. He could make contact on ball or man, but he just put an element of doubt in Rierson's mind, and that meant that Mendy could get it away. Off the island, out of play for a throw. Rierson's taking it quickly. To Emre Can and back again, and then now Schlotterbeck can bring it forward. To his left-hand side, Julian Brandt. And the set-piece specialist. Now to Ian Madsen. Dutchman back for Brandt again. Blonde-haired midfielder to Emre Can. Threatening to try and play the ball for Savic's run between the Real Madrid lines. He thought better on. They didn't think he could squeeze it through. More conservative pass played instead for Schlotterbeck. Now towards the left-hand side, Madsen firing it in, and Rudiger acrobatically volleys it away. Now Adeyemi can pick it up on the edge of the penalty area. Back from Brandt to Schlotterbeck again. Emre Can running towards the edge of the box. He almost got it through towards Füllkrug, and it's knocked away. And Dortmund will pick it up at the back. I wonder when they will be thinking about potentially making an attacking change. Got Donyell Malen on the bench, who will offer something a little bit different. Just wonder whether the possession that they're having will give them encouragement that they might want to bring Malen on. On this occasion, just invaded Madsen and gone out of play for a goal kick that'll be taken by Courtois. Took it very short towards Nacho, and a good attacking press. And Adeyemi was in on Carvajal. The two end up on the deck again. Carvajal writhing in pain. There's a hand of apology from Adeyemi. Play goes on, and Real had worked it for the right back position out towards the left wing, where they've conceded a throw. Jude Bellingham hasn't really been able to take this game by the scruff of the neck, as we've been so accustomed to him doing on the big occasions. 17 gone in the second half, and it's still 0-0, isn't it? Former England captain Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, Madrid needs someone to step into this game and take it by the scruff of the neck at the moment, because it will be fair to say at this stage of the game, if Dortmund end up winning it, they certainly will be the team that us neutrals will probably turn around and say you deserve it in your endeavour.
Dortmund could bring it forward, and Brandt finds a little bit of space. It's the ball run across him and hooks it with his right foot towards Adeyemi. Adeyemi, good save, Courtois. As a cross came in, a Füllkrug diving header. Might have crept inside the right-hand post, and Courtois did well, dive headlong and beat it away. Real pick up the ball with Camavinga over on the left-hand side. It was much more direct route towards goal that time from Schwarzgelb, and Füllkrug with a side of goal, forcing a half-decent save.
Yeah, it was a fantastic header, I've got to say. Whipped in brilliantly. The pace was on the ball. What he needed was the direction, and he got that right. And once again, Real Madrid's best player on the evening so far has pulled off a decent save.
Good stop by Thibaut Courtois, 5th game of the season. He's kept clean sheets in every match that he's played so far. Here's Rudiger on the right-hand side for Real Madrid, laying it back for Freddy Valverde. Valverde coming into the heart of the midfield. Just works it down to his left-hand side. Mendy for Vinicius. Mendy getting it again, a little pirouette. Trying to draw the challenge from Savitzer. Camavinga with a clever little clip out towards the left-hand side. Vinicius taking on and beating Riersson left-hand side of the penalty area, pulling it back. The Norwegian recovered and steers the cross behind for another Real Madrid corner. Still 0-0, 64 gone.
Yeah, really good play there, Vinicius Junior. As I say, he's a handful and a half, but he nipped past Riersson. And credit to him, he got back and managed to deal with it. I don't think I've seen a group of a fan base with so many props, flares, flags, drums, you name it.
In comes the corner. Camavinga attacking it. It was knocked away by Füllkrug, and then Riersson, and now out towards Brandt. He's only got Adeyemi ahead of him. He's played it into space. And Adeyemi stood no chance of being able to get that. It's all been so fantastically choreographed, hasn't it, the Dortmund support, with various different banners that they put up at different stages of the night, one for the start of the second half. We were hearing from Kevin Hatchard earlier about the banners dedicated to Dortmund superfan Marcel, who passed away recently. In fact, there's another one with his face on it, but he's just being waved now. It's a magnificent support from him. Here's Rodrigo cutting inside the penalty area. Schlotterbeck stood his ground and concedes another corner. Well, doing their best to try and begin to turn the screw as they look for the breakthrough in front of the Dortmund supporters away to our right.
Yeah, they do. They just need to get something, a foothold in the game. You wouldn't believe that we're talking about Madrid needing to get a foothold and some possession in the game, if nothing else, even if not territory.
Toni Kroos to take this corner for Real Madrid. Right footed in towards the penalty spot, headed away by his long-time international teammate Mats Hummels. Back in from Kroos again. That one headed towards goal, but wide of the far post. It was Vinicius that climbed and probably on his way down by the time the ball got to him. Difficult to steer his header on target. And he goes out of play for a goal kick that will be taken away to our right-hand side by Kobel. 65 minutes gone. Jude Bellingham's touched the ball 65 times so far, but he hasn't really had a sniff of an opportunity up to this point. With Talk Sport, deadlock still to be broken in the 2024 Champions League final. Adeyemi, lovely turn, not too much in the way of support. We're bringing forward now, running at Carvajal and then trying to nutmeg Rudiger, but there's no way that the wily old campaign was going to fall for that. And Valverde then will pick up the pieces and lay it out of the left-hand side for Eduardo Camavinga. Camavinga down the line. Bellingham making a good run down the left-hand side of the penalty area. Schlotterbeck follows him every step of the way and plays it off Bellingham and out of play for a throw to Dortmund in their right-back position.
Now, I've got to say, individuals within the Dortmund ranks have done extremely well. It was Schlotterbeck that time, just got across and dealt with a threat that might have been Bellingham, but it might have been Mats Hummels in previous times. Ryerson has stuck to his task defensively, and that's what's just got their nose in front for me at the moment.
And this is a Dortmund side that finished 27 points off the top in the Bundesliga. Making it this far by beating PSV, Atletico, and PSG in the semi-finals. And the better side over the first 3 quarters of the 90 minutes tonight. Nothing to show for it, except for a clean sheet. 0-0 the score. Toni Kroos, really deep. I mean, he's in a line between his two centre-halves more often than not. Rudiger. Down towards Carvajal and back to Rudiger again. To the blonde hair Kroos, who will take it on, and the 34-year-old pops it forward towards Valverde. Bellingham just giving a little shove once he played the ball forward. Emre Can perpetrated that. Ball goes out towards Carvajal. Down towards Camavinga. Camavinga riding a challenge from Brandt as he retains possession. Emre Can there just having a little nib at Bellingham again. Rudiger over the top, good ball towards the edge of the penalty area. Rierson couldn't get there ahead of finishers. Played in, it's Jude Bellingham back towards the penalty spot, and Sabitzer is back to cover and clear for Dortmund. Camavinga gets on the end of an ill-judged defensive header from Adeyemi. Real get possession back again. That was much better movement from Real, getting Bellingham into a good position.
Yeah, it was, and when Bellingham got it, I mean, he chose to whip it across the face of goal, if you like, or pull it back, and probably should have been better off suited going alone.
Now Bellingham tries to get in there, and as he comes to meet it with the goalkeeper, both miss it, and it ends up going wide. But if Bellingham could just have got there before Kobel and got a touch on it, it may well have been 1-0 Real Madrid.
Oh, it's a great whipped in swinging ball just outside the far post. The goalkeeper's got to come and do better. I think Bellingham's got to do a lot better. Both of them looked as though they didn't want any physical contact, and eventually it drifted past the far post.
Excellent ball in from Vinicius, goes to waste, and it remains 0-0, just over 20 minutes of normal time left. Extra time on the agenda at the moment. Fulkrug has done well. He's dropped deep to get on the end of a long ball forward from the back, and he's steered a header out towards Adeyemi. Adeyemi then working it into the feet of Jadon Sancho on the left-hand side of the penalty area this time. Valverde is there trying to block the cross. It's managed out, it comes out for Emre Can. Can moment, I thought he got himself into a shooting position, but Bellingham was there in the nick of time, forced Chan to work it wide, and the rear side and then back again. Chan waits for the challenge to come before feeding it to Schlotterbeck. Schlotterbeck can chip it out towards rear side, and as he controls it, he's got a little bit of time. Plays it in towards Emre Can. Everybody bar Bellingham back behind the ball for Real Madrid in this phase of players who go into the final 20 minutes. TalkSport still 0-0. Much better final than the scoreline perhaps suggests. And still the most significant moment of the night, the most significant moment of this Champions League season lies ahead of us here in North London tonight. Kobe, fluorescent orange, playing the ball out of his penalty area. And swiftly getting it back again from Mats Hummels. Rolls his studs over the top of the ball, which again comes to a standstill. He will drive a pass forward. Fulkrug coming to meet that, has been pushed. And it's a free kick to Dortmund, just past the halfway line. 19 to go. And I wonder if the script is written for another one of the retirees. Marco Reus, who is playing his last game for Dortmund. His 429th game for the club. One of those was here at Wembley in a Champions League final 11 years ago against Bayern. And he's going to come on here. He's going to be the first player brought off the bench tonight. Marco Reus, Dortmund's all-time leading scorer with 170 goals for the club. And he's going to come on here for Karim Adeyemi, first change. What are your thoughts on that, Stuart?
Well, if I was Madrid, I think that would be the team that I think need a change and need a freshen up, if I'm being honest with you. I think they'll be quite pleased to see Adeyemi go off. I think he's done reasonably well tonight, to be fair, and he's been a bit of a threat with his pace.
So Reus on. Player who's in his 36th year. He's got a really good record against Real Madrid in his career. 4 goals in 7 games against Real. Not many can emulate that. Actually includes 3 in his last 2. He scored a fantastic free kick on his last Bundesliga appearance for the club a couple of weeks ago. Just wonder if the script is written for a sensational farewell for him. Rear side, beaten. Hummels wasn't, but it's another corner. I think Vinicius now feels that he has got the beating of Rearsson every time he takes him on, but Mats Hummels is frequently not too far behind, and the Norwegian has beaten the big German centre-half, seldom is. But it's a corner to Real here with 17 to go. 0-0.
Yeah, what they're doing well, Dortmund, is doubling up. If one player gets beaten, the next one's there very, very quickly.
In comes the corner and in-swinging delivery. Rudiger throwing himself at it at the near post. It's cleared. Then back in from Valverde. That was a speculative attempt that took a looping deflection and goes behind off Madsen for another corner.
Just waiting for the game to settle into a little bit of a rhythm to see what this substitution has done for the shape of Dortmund.
Fifth corner of the second half for Real Madrid. They have the breakthrough from the most unlikely source. Dani Carvajal, who can make history tonight as the first player of the modern era to win 6 European Cups. And his is the goal that might get him there. Flying near post header, got goal side of Mats Hummels, steers it into the net. 16 to go, a night where Dortmund have been dominant, but it's Real Madrid that lead.
Well, that's a tough one for Dortmund to swallow, but Carvajal, he got first contact on one in the first half, and on that occasion burst across the near post, rose really well for his size and just glanced it on and into the far corner. Fulkrug, I think it was the man who was assigned to get somewhere near him and was just behind him, couldn't get in front of him. Great movement and a great flick on.
The night that Dani Carvajal can tie Paco Gento's record, which was set 60 years ago. Scores the goal. It's only his 13th for Real Madrid. Nearly half of those have come this season. 13 in more than 400 games. Dani Carvajal. remember, in each of the last 4 Champions League finals, the first goal has won it. 4 1-0s in a row in the Champions League final. Is it going to be 5? Dani Carvajal for Real Madrid. They lead Borussia Dortmund by a goal to 0, and they've been made to pay for those glorious missed opportunities in the first half. So now Dortmund with Sancho. First Champions League goal that they have conceded in 280 minutes. Hummels helping it wide, out to the right-hand touchline for Julian Briasson. And it goes out for a throw, which will be taken over on the Real Madrid left-hand side. 15 minutes to go. Partying in the Real Madrid contingent away to our left-hand side. All they need to do from here is keep a clean sheet, and they're European champions again.
I think the fans of Madrid to our left-hand side here can't believe their luck that they've got their nose in front, certainly on the run of play in this game. Dortmund will feel very aggrieved. Now they're going to have to dig deep to come back into this game if they possibly can.
Here's the goal scorer, potential match winner, Carvajal. Loose ball through the midfield. Valverde did well to make sure it didn't fall for Emre Can. Now Bellingham turning it out towards Camavinga. Camavinga out to the Real Madrid left-hand side for Vinicius. Good advantage played by the referee after Camavinga was fouled. Vinicius maintaining possession. Works it back to Mendy. Bellingham's got it now. Bellingham taking it on a touch and then flicking to the right-hand side of his right boot. Down towards Valverde. Valverde to Rodrigo. Real Madrid fans in front of us. All stand with Merengue in possession. Valverde back to Nacho. Nacho to Kroos. Domestic career about to end on a high, seemingly. Camavinga down the left-hand side for Vinicius. Camavinga getting to the byline. He's pulled it back. Chance and miss by Bellingham. Got it onto his left foot, open on the instep of his right to knock it towards goal, and it must just have taken the merest hint of a flick on the way through to steer it wide. There's the deflection that has kept Borussia Dortmund in the final. Good defending actually from Schlotterbeck, and it's still 1-0 Real Madrid.
That was a top quality intervention by Schlotterbeck there. Hummels is appealing for calm from his team, and certainly that would have put the game beyond Dortmund, no doubt, but wonderful challenge and block.
78 gone, 1-0 Real Madrid. Kroos to take the corner. Nice and right-footed away swinger, which is deposited away out of the penalty area by Hummels. Brandt trying to turn it on, but Rodrigo read the script very effectively. He plays it in towards Bellingham on the edge of the penalty area. Trying to turn, he's lost possession, and Brandt will be able to bring it forward here. Brandt right in the first challenge, he's got Royce ahead of him, which sliding challenge from Mendy wins it back for Real Madrid. Then turned intelligently by Kroos over halfway line for Camavinga. Camavinga now, second goal surely wraps this up, and Hummels in judicious lunge is going to be punished. Foul on Camavinga, yellow card for Hummels, and a free kick in a really good area for Real, left of centre, 8-9 yards outside the penalty area.
Yeah, as I say, the game's looking to be a little bit stretched at this moment in time, and Hummels has been picked off on 2 occasions. On that occasion, a yellow card and a free kick right on the edge of the D.
This might be Toni Kroos's moment. He's brought the ball forward, the referee's put the spray on the ground, and Kroos is just going to have to adjust the exact placement of the ball. He rubs his right hand through his hair, Toni Kroos, as he just sizes up this moment. The ball is way back inside the penalty area, like 3 yards back inside the box. It's 5 strong. Kroos now just bending over, sizing up the moment. The ball is protecting the left-hand side of the goal. The open side is to the right. Kroos with it. Good save from the diving Kobel. He got the accuracy, he didn't get the power necessarily, and Kobel just diving in behind the wall was able to beat it away pretty comfortably.
Yeah, comfortable save there. He's got it up and down pretty well, but direction not right, pace not spot on, and the goalkeeper, well, on for the cameras really, and a couple of subs looking to come on at this moment.
And it's going to be the former West Ham United striker Seb Allaire is going to be coming on, along with the former Arsenal trainee Daniel Marlon. Marlon replacing Emre Can. And Julian Brandt has also come on. Allaire on to replace him. He got injured at Mönchengladbach 7 weeks ago, did his ankle. And he's come back on now, making his comeback. Scored the winner in the final of the African Cup of Nations, Sebastian Allaire, the Ivorian, who scored a rate of about 1 every 4 games for West Ham United. Is on here in the Champions League final. Raul bring the ball forward towards the edge of the box. Camavinga, good save. That certainly wasn't one for the cameras. Kobel diving across to his right hand side, got his top hand to it and helped it on its way over the bar.
Well, Camavinga's got his angles brilliantly right. He's come on to that. He's hit it with dip, and it's just bending over underneath the crossbar. And Kobel's done brilliantly to get fingertips on that and put it over.
Out here at Wembley tonight, just a shade over 86,000. A few more Real Madrid supporters in than Borussia Dortmund. And it's the Spanish side that lead in the final 10 minutes. Another corner flicked on, another good save from Kobel, who, in getting a hand to it, was able to beat it away from the advancing Bellingham, and Allaire will clear. And since they scored, Real Madrid have been well on top here. That was Nacho that got his head to that. It's another fine save from Kobel, diving backwards to keep it out.
Almost identical to the goal, but probably a touch more central. But you've got to say, a wonderful save all the same.
However, how to take this throw. He's now scored or assisted 19 goals in the Champions League for Real Madrid. And Roberto Carlos, the only Real Madrid fullbacks in the history of the club that have had more goal involvements than that. Given away cheaply by Madsen. Bellingham rolling it in, finishes to win it for Real Madrid. It's 2-0. Horrible error from Ian Madsen, who kicks the post in disgust. Real Madrid second best for an hour and turn it on. They lead 2-0 in the final 10 minutes. And their 15th European Cup is incoming.
At this stage, you probably just sit here and think to yourself, the trophy was probably destined to Madrid from about 3-4 rounds ago potentially, because I don't think they played well tonight. Madrid, they've stayed in the game, they rode their luck, and well, they've taken a couple of opportunities that they've had.
His 6th goal this season in the Champions League. Finishes the man that scored the winner in the 2022 final and surely made the 2024 final safe. Ian Madsen with a crossfield ball that was seized upon. Bellingham working it wide, and Vinicius with a clinical finish, getting the better of Gregor Kobel. They've scored twice in 9 minutes, and they're going to be European champions again.
Well, I've got to say, just watch the replay of that, and he's pulled his shot a little bit, pulled it into the turf, and it was the bounce that's ended up beating Kobel, who could only get a slight top thumb onto it.
Marco Reus immediately across to console Ian Madsen. And Dortmund now need 2 in the final 6.5 minutes, plus stoppage time if they're going to take this game to extra time. So dominant in the first 45 minutes, didn't take their chances, and ultimately they've been made to pay.
And as I say, when the subs were made for Dortmund, I don't think they've improved the shape of the team or improved the performance in many ways. And since probably the substitutions that were called there, probably Madrid have come into the game that little bit more.
Well, Real Real will make a double change of their own now, and Jude Bellingham blows kisses at the crowd as he comes off. Joselu is coming on to replace him. Joselu, whose goals in the semi-final got Real Madrid to Wembley. And there's going to be a big ovation for Luka Modric as he comes on. And he will replace Toni Kroos, who says goodbye to Real Madrid and to club football with an emotional hug with Vinicius as he leaves the field. Kroos acknowledging the crowd. He comes off. Big hug for Carlo Ancelotti. Job done. The end of his club career after 731 games, and surely now 5 successful Champions League finals.
Well, I think when you're writing the script for any footballer, that's how we all want to leave the pitch, winning the Champions League. Credit to him, he's been a wonderful, wonderful player over his time. And if you're going to go out, now's the time.
Brilliantly described by European football expert Kevin Hatchard before the game. It's a mic drop moment when he announced that he would be retiring from club football. Many thought that he still had plenty to give. He's been very critical of former teammates and former adversaries at club level who've sought big money, playing out their latter years elsewhere around the globe. He said he wanted no part of that whatsoever, wanted to leave on a high, and he's going to do so. Sabitzer bringing it for Valverde has fouled him, and it's a free kick on halfway. And of course, as Kroos goes off, Modric comes on, and he too now surely is going to be joining Paco Gento and Dani Carvajal as somebody who has won this competition 6 times in their career.
Substitution for Borussia Dortmund, number 10.
Dortmund make another change. Sancho is being replaced. And Jamie Bino Giddens, another young Englishman, has come on to replace him. It's Daniel Marlin on the left-hand side of the penalty area here for Dortmund, who need a miracle. 3.5 to go. And there's the first instalment of it. Fulkrug heading in at the near post. Left wing cross. Fulkrug attacking it. And the flag is up. He wheeled away in celebration, but the offside flag has, for the moment at least, denied him. It will of course be checked. Daniel Marlin clipping it in left-footed, and he is offside.
Yeah, great decision by the linesman. It's a shame because I would like to see the finale of this game with Dortmund chasing the last few minutes. It's been, as I say, it's been a tough one for Dortmund. I think they've won a lot of people over. Certainly their fan base has won a lot of people over, that is for sure. They've created an incredible environment in Wembley tonight.
Well, they're going home empty-handed unless there is a monumental miracle laid on here at Wembley. Another Wembley Champions League final defeat seemingly for Borussia Dortmund. Here's Daniel Marlin. And Marlin with an angry reaction as Dani Carvajal has fouled him. It's a free kick on halfway that Ian Maatsen will take. He's in a hurry to get on with it. 2 minutes plus stoppage time to go. 2-0 Real Madrid lead. It was goalless with just a little over a quarter of an hour left. Royce trying to slip the ball down to Daniel Marlin. It's cleared by Carvajal into the Dutchman and out of play for a throw that will be taken by Real Madrid. They're just effectively seeing out time now.
Yeah, they are. They've done their work. To be fair, Madrid, they've managed to stay in the game when the game was going away from them, and you know full well they've got so much quality in their ranks. Somebody will get a goal from somewhere. That's been the nature of this cup run.
And Militao is going to be coming on in a moment for Real Madrid. Here's Luka Modric, nice touch from him. One back in the midfield temporarily by Maatsen. What is it? Comes off in the second time, he's conceded a throw. Marlon acting as the ball boy to deny Dani Carvajal the opportunity to waste a few seconds. Real will make their change. And Eder Militao, who's missed 7 months of this season through injury, is going to be coming on at the next break in play. Taking the throw and then winning another, and that will allow them the opportunity to make this change, although they're still passing up the chance for now. Carvajal with the throw in towards Modric. Royce puts this one out of play for another throw. Now they will make that final change. Rodrigo is the player that is going to be coming off, and Eder Militao on to replace him. Centre half who's played only 11 minutes in the Champions League so far this season. Not going to be able to add too many more to that tally here, but he will be getting a winner's medal at the end of the night. So Eder Militao on, another body behind the ball for the time that remains, and there isn't much of it. Going into stoppage time, still waiting for the numbers board to be shown. Sabitzer outside his own penalty area, long right-footed ball over the top. It's going to be chased by Bino Giddins. It's headed away by Nacho, brought down by Camavinga as we go into 5 added minutes at the end of this game, and Dortmund need to score twice in them to take it to extra time.
Yeah, I can't see that happening in any way, shape or form. The goal that was ruled out slightly earlier by Fulkrug would have made things very, very interesting, but you just can't help thinking when you've seen everything pan out in front of you and the semi-finals that Madrid were involved in, that it was just destiny taking the trophy in their direction.
Get again. Here's Schlotterbeck. Long left-footed ball over the top. It's headed on inside the area. Haller will get it, but at a very tight angle. He's played it back from behind Rierson. He's able to toe poke it back to Sabitzer. And Carvajal cushions a very calm defensive header back to Thibaut Courtois. And Courtois will take the ball to the right-hand side of his penalty area and then throw himself down on it when Fulkrug puts the pressure on. Just to run a few more seconds off the clock. Just over 3 minutes to go. And Real Madrid, well, you can't necessarily say they've been good value for it tonight. But Stuart, they do it too often for it to be chance.
Exactly that. They do it too often. They've got too much talent in there, and they've stuck another one of these glittering prizes in the trophy cabinet, which is over brimming as it was.
Another opportunity for Borussia Dortmund to bring the ball forward through the midfield. It's Bino Giddins making his way towards the edge of the penalty area, cleared by Modric, and Camavinga trying to squeeze it through. They had the opportunity there if they could have got the pass right to get finishes in on the counter. It's cleared. Modric will help it on. The loose ball breaks Rierson's way. Now Bino Giddins, good little reverse ball in towards Mats Hummels, who's pushed forward as an emergency striker in the moments that remain. Schlotterbeck heading the ball on. Got it away from Osselu, but Modric can pick it up, and he will drive forward now, 4 out towards the edge of the penalty area. Feeling Vinicius, looking to set the seal on the victory. He's clipped it inside the box. Retreating Rierson has been able to get it away. In fact, it was Royce that came back and cleared from Modric. Long ball over the top, chased by Marlon. And on the left-hand side of the Real penalty area, he's brought it under control. 2 minutes to go, 2-0 to Real Madrid, and Dortmund will have to make the throw that Madsen will come across the top.
Yeah, as I say, it's a game now for Ancelotti of breaking the tempo of the game up, multiple substitutions, and it's like Vinicius will be going off and taking the turn that he leave the pitch.
Scoring in a second Champions League final. He leaves the field to be replaced by Lucas Vazquez, who won the Champions League back in 2016, where he appeared as a substitute in the final. He's going to get a much briefer substitute appearance in the final 8 years on. Vazquez on. Player who's featured in not too far short of 350 Real Madrid games now. Madsen sending a high ball inside the penalty area, looking for Hummels. It's headed away. Ball brought down on the right-hand side of the box by Rierson. Opportunity for Bino Giddins to make his way forward. He had his ankles clipped, and it's a free kick to Dortmund, level with the right-hand side of the box, about 10 yards outside the penalty area. They'll just flood the bodies forward in a bid to get one set piece right and set up a barnstorming final 90 seconds.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting finish to the game if they do it at the back of the net now, but I think it's too little too late. And they've certainly piled players into the box.
Kova's not made his way forward, everybody else has. So Royce to take it, just to click it in. Hummels, Schlotterbeck, both waiting. Marlon stands by the penalty spot. 5 in the penalty area. Another 4 in good support. It's a ball that's teased inside the box and headed away by Eder Militao. And out of play for a late Borussia Dortmund corner.
I've got to say, super header there from Militao. Just prior to that, done some good defensive work in and around his own penalty box. And he's certainly pulled his weight since he's come on.
In comes the corner towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Courtois punches that one clear outside the box. The 5 minutes are up, but we've had a change or two, so there'll still be a few seconds to be added on. Flicked in here, but not to good effect by Madsen. And Courtois will catch it and throw himself to the ground. They know that they've won it now. There's a handshake, a congratulatory handshake from Edin Terzic to Carlo Ancelotti. He's the first manager to win 4 Champions League finals, but he extends it to 5. Real Madrid, champions of Europe for the 15th time in their history. Yet again, they just somehow find a way. Not at their best for 75 minutes. The goals from Carvajal and Vinicius get them over the line. They squeak through on penalties against Manchester City. They tiptoed through the semi-finals in the closing stages thanks to Joselu and a wrongly blown whistle. And now in the final, they were second best for the majority of the game, but again they win. It happens far too frequently, purely to be luck. Real Madrid, champions of Europe for the 6th time in 10 years. Tears in the eyes of Jude Bellingham, who made his way to the Spanish capital for precisely this moment. Glory for Real Madrid, the glorious Albides for Toni Kroos, and for Borussia Dortmund, magnificent support and a hard luck story to go with it. This Real Madrid's night, yet again, they beat Borussia Dortmund by 2-0, and they are the kings of Europe.